welcome back. Oh, it's been a long day. Lots of winning going on here. Ton of winning. I was talking with someone today, and they said, man, how do you know so much about sales? Or when you're listening to the calls, how can you diagnose it so quickly? I'm able to guide them to close a deal. And I've also closed a lot of deals, right? Tons. More than I could ever keep count. The number is insane. It's irrelevant. But here's the thing. It's because I understand the hidden brain patterns behind every sale. So for me, once you understand these, you're going to have so many more wins. Lots of big deals closed for you. So let me teach you what I'm looking for and how to understand these. So grab a pencil and paper. Make sure you like and subscribe. And check us out at Universal Accounting Center. So here's the thing. Module 1, title it, my prospect isn't thinking, my prospect is predicting. Okay? I'm going to teach you predictive processing. So here's what happens. Most people believe in the brain, okay, what's going on is that it receives information, then makes decisions. This isn't actually what happens, okay? The brain is constantly making predictions and then looking for evidence that it's right. Like I said, it's called predictive processing. Okay, write that down. So what does that mean? Your prospect is not listening to you objectively. They're comparing everything you say against prediction they've already created. Here's an example. Before a business owner gets on a sales call, they already got predictions in mind. Hey, salespeople are pushy. This is going to be expensive. Nobody understands my business. This is probably a waste of time. I've heard this before. What happens? The brain then looks for evidence to support those predictions. So what's going on here? Most salespeople lose before they ever speak. So we got to hijack that. We got to beat that. How are you going to beat it? Application to sales. Guys, the first 5 minutes of a call are not discovery. The first 5 minutes of a call are prediction disruption. Write that down. Prediction disruption. All right, it's huge. So instead of, hey, tell me about your business, this is what you need to say. Before we talk about anything, what made you decide to spend time with me today? The question forces the brain out of prediction mode and back into reflection mode. So what happens is they're no longer defending, they're participating, right? Elite salespeople, we're not gathering information. We're altering predictions. That's what you want to do. Come on. Gotta get better. Module 2. The brain doesn't buy value. The brain doesn't buy value. Okay? It buys energy conservation. Write that down. Energy conservation. Nathan, what in the world does that mean? The brain doesn't buy value, it buys energy conservation. Let me tell you. So for this module, I feel like this is where most sales trainers get it wrong. Most salespeople get it wrong. Most firm owners get it wrong. Guys, nobody buys value. If value sold, everyone would exercise. Think about this. Everyone would save money. Everyone would eat healthy. Everyone would hire advisors. They don't, because the brain is designed to conserve energy. Every new decision requires mental energy. Every change requires mental energy. Every commitment requires mental energy. Listen, I've been dominating and winning all day, training and selling all day. This is what happens when you go hard. Now I'm making videos, so forgive me there. This is what happens when you win at the highest level. You go so much, you just keep winning. All right, look, but every commitment, what was I saying? I was talking about energy. Look, every new decision requires mental energy. Every change requires mental energy. Every commitment requires mental energy. The question isn't, does this create value? The question is, hey, is this easier than staying where I am? All right, let's go to the next section. Remember, we're not in a new module. We're in the same section. Or we're in the same module, different section. All right, hey. Why most accountants can't sell advisory. Why most accountants can't sell advisory. Why can't they? Because they accidentally increase cognitive load. What does that mean? They explain KPI dashboards. You're doing this. You're literally doing this. Stop doing it. I heard it a bunch today. You can't do that. Okay? KPI dashboards, cash flow systems, forecasting, strategic planning, monthly advisory meetings. So what happens is the prospect then becomes exhausted. The brain starts looking for escape. Hey, if you want to be the best, you have to do the opposite. Reduce complexity. Instead of selling advisory, instead of selling tax, bookkeeping, sell the darn clarity, okay? Sell the solution. Instead of selling analysis, sell certainty. Instead of selling meetings, sell better decisions. What do I mean by sell certainty? Speak with conviction, change your tone. All right, and sell the outcome. Find the pain and make sure that certainty of using your services will provide a solution to take all that pain and all that headache away that they're currently experiencing. So, sell better decisions. That's all you got to do. Module 3, the status of protection circuit. The status protection circuit. The status protection circuit. All right, the hidden force behind objections. And write that down right under the status protection circuit. The hidden force behind objections. Most business owners, they're not protecting their money. You know what they're doing? They're protecting their identity. Okay? The moment someone feels incompetent, the brain enters defense mode. Why? Okay. Well, let me show you. Okay, well, a few things. You're becoming so smart in your jargon and the way you're communicating, your technical skills and your what you can do. Like even the term reconciliations, that freaks, like some business owners have no idea. Just think, like they started a business, a lot of them, because they were good at something or they had a hobby, not because they have a business education. So you're accidentally creating resistance. So understand that the moment someone feels incompetent, the brain enters defense mode. So you don't want to sound too smart. So here's an example. Hey, you should really be looking at these numbers. You need to understand your margins. You should have done tax planning months ago. Well, it may be technically true. Psychologically, it's disastrous, okay? Because now you've threatened their status. So you don't want to do those kinds of things. And what elite closers do instead is, hey, honestly, most business owners don't get taught this stuff. Nobody hands you a manual when you start a company. Don't worry, John. You're not alone. Notice what happened. You protected identity, the prospect remains open, the brain stays receptive. And that's what you want to do. All right, let's go to Module 4. Why people don't buy the best option. The brain hates loss more than it loves gain. The brain hates loss more than it loves gain. Guys, a business owner might gain 50 grand, more free time, less stress, better decisions, yet still refuse. Why? Because the brain experiences loss roughly twice as intensely as gain. So, let me say that one more time. The brain experiences loss roughly twice as intensely as gain. So, loss hits harder than gain. The prospect isn't evaluating upside, they're evaluating the downside. What if this doesn't work? What if I waste my money? What if I make the wrong decision? What if I look stupid? The sale happens when perceived risk falls below perceived reward, not before. All right, let's go to Module 5. Hey, listen. The certainty threshold. Every sale has a certainty threshold. A prospect buys when certainty exceeds fear, not when excitement exceeds fear, not when value exceeds fear. Certainty exceeds fear. Okay, this explains why people buy expensive services from trusted advisors while rejecting cheaper alternatives. The trusted advisor created certainty, the cheaper option didn't. All right, the lead question is this. When a prospect says, I need to think about it, you think of Aikido. Right? And water. You want to move and flow like water, right? Don't fight the objection. Diagnose certainty. Ask, what specifically do you feel you need to think through? Now you're locating uncertainty, and uncertainty is where the sale lives. So let's go to Module 6. The most dangerous thing a salesperson can do. The most dangerous thing that you can do is word vomiting, information dumping. Your prospect doesn't need more information. They need fewer unanswered questions. Massive difference. Okay, most accountants overwhelm prospects with knowledge. Elite advisors eliminate confusion. Every explanation should answer, what does this do for them, not how does this work? So the highest paid salespeople in the world are not masters of persuasion. They're masters of reducing uncertainty. Every objection, every hesitation, every delay, every stall, every concern. Listen, all of those can ultimately be traced back to a prediction the prospect has made about the future. The sell is won when you replace a negative prediction with a positive one that feels more certain. That is the hidden brain pattern behind every single sale. So you just got to hijack those. Look, do all the things I just taught you in this video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.